Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust to talk about that Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. And today we're talking about Power Surge is close, and so are custom servers. Now, full disclosure, we're going to be talking about some of the interconnected pieces here and how Power Surge has kind of been here the whole time. Yeah, I will go more into that here in a second, but I want to cover the thing here. It's not going to be like tomorrow, as far as I know. This is just kind of saying, hey, it's going to be the next piece as we are cooking cargo ship on PTB currently, and when that goes through and it goes to main branch, then it ushers in the next step, which is going to be Power Surge. Again, for timelines and everything else, I've got another video. I'll go ahead and link this at the end of the video as well. But I have Rust custom servers when. This is a great estimate, kind of shows you the timetable. I'll go ahead and link that now in the upper right hand corner if you want to go check that out now. But again, we'll throw that up on the end screen as well. Yeah, so the big deal with this is when this is done and it goes to main branch again, testing goes, cooks for roughly 2 to 3 months, then gets pushed to normal Rust. That ushers in Power Surge right after that. So we do know that. Unless they change things, I guess that could happen. But I do know that custom servers are interlinked with Power Surge just because of a lot of the dependencies that are happening there. So whenever this happens, either a little bit before, during, or a little bit after, I think we're going to see something like this. I would say at the latest, worst case scenario, probably first quarter next year, but I don't think it's going to be quite that long. But again, that's speculation on my part. But yeah, so Power Surge is looming. It's ever so close, and it's been cooking over on our version of Rust, over on Rust Console Edition, longer than you think, actually. If you guys have been paying attention, when we did the cargo ship test, there was some of these elements here. You can actually see it here live in game, although these decals should actually be on the box here. I think that's an error. You can see the controller itself, the door controller, excuse me, and the splitter. This is actually on the cargo ship. You'll see this a few times, but also, if you didn't know, our actual monuments are being currently run by electricity, airfield, and there's evidence of this because sometimes these objects will be creeping to the floor, or they'll be ever so slightly coming through the wall. So at the airfield, I think they've since fixed this. You can see one of the generators. This is part of custom servers, more or less. This is a generator that can be spawned when you're an admin, but this doesn't normally spawn in the game. But when it's running these monuments, whenever we hit the switches for cards, it's this bad boy that's running it because it actually has power coming out of it. Let me go ahead and just throw up right there. See it? Boop. Power output. Right there. And if you've also been paying attention during the, and don't worry about these are pine cones. Over at the fishing village, if you notice, the broadcaster has gotten a revamp. It looks a lot shinier than it was before, and if you look right there, you can see it looks awfully close to the one we're looking at. And I'm not sure if we're going to get things like these. The spooky speakers were kind of like an extra thing. It's just like Halloween noises. But you do notice that some of the reggae music's coming out of these at the fishing village. So a little hint for things to come, and we'll talk about it here in a second. But yeah, maybe some transportation too, little hints here and there. If you kind of come over here, we can see the same thing. Again, these are ice cream cones. You can see a different angle of this over at the fishing village. But another reason why you can kind of see these things kind of coming through is you're seeing the polish put on these. But also, I love seeing the little pieces of this coming through at the actual monuments themselves. Because well, we'll show you here at the end, because we got quite a lineup here. You can see these on the side of the road. I'm sure somebody's noticed these, right? You can see that's a splitter just up on a stick there. But if you go to the harbor and you're over by the recycler, you'll see the same setup here, a door controller and the splitter itself. And down here at the oil rig, I know this one's kind of all over the place. This is interesting because we got this one recently. These frequencies do work with the pager in-game. Let me go ahead and show you what that looks like over here. Pager. Where are you? There you are. So when the oil rig is run and you have this typed into your pager, you'll actually see this or hear this, or both actually, either in a box or when it's on your person. So you can put it on vibrate, you can actually have the noise go. So when somebody triggers this and the heavies come in, you'll hear it. So that looks quite functional. On the same vein of this, you can see even more Power Surge components sitting here. We got a door controller. We have the, I forget what this one's called. It's like the push button. I'm not sure what the exact name is here. And then we have an AND switch. That's what activates the door on the top deck of the oil rig. And here's even more evidence. If you didn't know, the lights that are currently running when you do trigger this, you can see the timer right there sitting through the power generator on top. Now, it looks like it's part of the scenery, but it's actually functional. And here's a little timer right there. When it's powered, you can set the different time settings for those. So it's quite interesting. So we've actually been sitting around with these for quite some time. And it's even better to see this not only show up in the new monuments that are coming up here, you can even see even more splitters and then a door controller here. But it's even better to see this come through with some more polish, and then start to even see these little glitches here and there, and you're like, yeah, it is working in the background, right? Because that's the way the monument's meant to be run. Now, it doesn't mean they've been sitting on it this whole time. There's definitely a lot of polish, because there's a difference between having this running on one monument and then have running on, you know, a bunch of Zerg bases and stuff. Because let's not forget, you're going to have to power turrets after this update, and you're going to have to collect power as a resource. That will definitely be a thing. And I'm telling you, some people, I mean, I guess everybody can have their own opinion, right? But a lot of people are like, hey, you know, everybody's spamming turrets. We're going to need something to slow it down. So I'm telling you, it's going to help that tremendously. Doesn't mean you can't, but it definitely adds more of a gameplay loop and some more stakes when you're actually collecting this. And like I said, if power is a resource, you're going to have to be collecting power, and to be judicious, because you can't just leave them on all the time and be wasteful, or else your footprint's going to be huge. So we had a couple of people saying, like, that's not going to help solos. It's really going to help solos, like, big time. Like big time. So you'll see. We'll show you a ton of these setups here, not only with the turrets, but with some trap bases and stuff, because the door controller is a very magical electrical device. It does exactly what the name says. It actually controls the doors when you put a power surge through it. Power surge? Some power through it? I don't know what the technical term may be, but yeah, so that's mad exciting. And for the sheer fact that this is also piggybacked in with not only electricity, but the custom servers, because there's a lot of dependencies in the background. You've heard me talk about this before, but there's a lot of server-side computations that happen, in case you didn't hear that. So power surge it's heavy on the systems a little bit, but it's heavier on the servers. And since servers are going to be offered up here soon enough, we still don't have an official date on that, and rest assured they're going to release it as soon as they possibly have it. But it would be unwise for them to release it without something, somewhat of a test on things that are more server-side heavy. And Power Surge definitely fits the bill for that. I can attest to that. We've been around since this came out. We were running our own server here on the PC. I can tell you, it chews it up a little bit. So it makes sense that they want to really pace things out. So when we start to see this come in to what is it over on the testing branch, I think we're going to start to hear stuff over there. Now again, that's just me speculating, but this is me based off of saying, okay, this is what happened for our power surge, this is how it changed over on PC, and we already know our limitations right now on the console side are definitely memory. And yeah, they want to make sure the price stays down for the servers themselves. I mean, also server memory, right? I mean, that's the biggest cost. Let's not kid ourselves. So it's very exciting to see all these pieces here. And oh yeah. So check this out. We had somebody else point out, and we don't know if this is going to be paired with this as well. There was some DLCs that happen on PC. I don't know how they're going to handle it over there. I don't know if we're going to have them or if they're just going to be merged in. But there was some voice DLC stuff that's shown up. Some people have been able to craft this bad boy, and it's a speaker. It's pretty obnoxious, to be honest, but it was interesting. Somebody was able to accidentally craft one of these inside of Rust Console Edition. So it's just nice, again, to see progress, to see things like this. I didn't think they would have stuff like this initially, and they may not, but it was just interesting that they somebody on the quick wheel was able to like craft that out, and I was like, oh, no kidding. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how many of the electrical components we get, but you know, it could be some of that voice prop DLC stuff. Who knows? Maybe it's separate. Maybe it's you know, it's already part of the update. Who knows? But yeah, so basically what I'm saying is when you see this come into PTB, expect some noise or some announcements around the actual custom servers themselves. So what I'm saying is cargo ship, good, stable, push it through. We're going to be looking at electricity and then custom servers right after that. So, you know, fingers crossed, right? I'm just so excited for this. And on a side note, I know they've done a lot of work with horses, and we always thought that was going to be like the next piece. And to be fair, they could sneak it in at any time. But I have a feeling it'll probably be after this wave of ocean-bound, you know, cargo ship and then power surge. But in case they sneak it in on us with one of the updates, or it's like in between something, I'm going to show you what to expect with the horse update now in the upper right-hand corner. If you want to go check that bad boy out. Honestly, I'm very excited for any mode of transportation. We need it so badly on Rust Console Edition. If you played on the 3K maps, you know what I'm talking about. So anything's welcome. But check this out. So in the vein of transportation and noticing things that have been popped in, and this is a little bit of an extra piece here. If you guys also notice at the fishing village, not only the broadcaster in the back and more pine cones, but if you look here, these are car parts themselves, part of the modular vehicles. You're like, oh, maybe that's just set dressings. No, 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 no. This is exactly what they look like when you throw them on the ground. These are the parts themselves, and oftentimes they'll use that to set dress stuff. Whoa, did I just put that in my bar? I did. Hang on, there you go. There's one. I don't know if that's one that's in there, and then we'll throw this one down. There you go. Can you see it right now? And then the engine. So yeah. Well, there you go. That's the engine. This one right there is the actual engine in the car itself. But it's just interesting because we didn't see these in the fishing village initially until the modular vehicles came in. And, you know, again, we have a hybrid version, so it could mean all manner of things. But it was just interesting that we're seeing these car parts pop in. And I was like, huh. I wonder what that means for us in the future. But we do know one thing for sure. It's just something I noticed. I don't know if we're actually getting modular vehicles that quickly, but they did say they have worked on horses, and you know, I guess that'll come in at any moment. And I'll say we'll probably get the ranches with it too. Let's be fair, right? I mean, I didn't expect the fishing villages to come in when it did. So, anyway, so expect power surge relatively soon. I'd say maybe something around the end of the year. We'll have to wait and see on PTB first. Obviously, it's got to cook there. But, you know, custom servers will be cooking either during or after that. So we're going to be looking at things like PvP arenas and that kind of stuff for us. So we'll be running at least 2 different types of servers. We're going to have one that's bi-weekly and another server that's going to be an event server where we do things like this. So all the more reason to sign up. Sign up? I mean, I guess subscribe. Yeah, not sign up, maybe subscribe. What am I saying? Well, you can also pop into our Discord, so I guess that's the sign up too. It's also in the link in the description. But we'll be running stuff like this live on stream, so it's going to be mad fun, super exciting. So you guys, if you can't afford the custom servers, because they will cost money, don't worry about it. Just join one of our servers. And on the side note of streaming and everything else, still having internet troubles with the upstream, so uploading. So I can play, but still having issues with actually streaming, which is super annoying. So I'm going to have to get all of that sorted out. So working quickly at that, so hopefully we'll have some more news here in the near future. But yeah, if you found this useful and helpful, be sure to drop a like. It helps out considerably. And again, if you're looking for a good time estimate and a breakdown for when custom servers might come in, I'll put it up on the end screen now. Go ahead and check it out. I think it's a solid outline. I really do.